morning children, welcome to today's class. So today we are going to start the next chapter, classification of elements and the modern periodic table also. So in the classification of elements and the periodic table, so here in this periodic table we have totally more than 115 elements children. So these elements will be in each and every element we have so many number of atoms. In each and every element there are the number of atoms, and the how many number of atoms will be there in each and every atom and each and every element. These all we have to know in this chapter. And about the classification, how according to on which basis these all will be classified, these all the things here in this chapter we are going to know. So you can open the textbooks and follow the class children. See here. So first basically we have to know why the elements has to be classified. What is the need? Why it is necessary to classify the elements? So what is the need of classification of elements here? So actually before the 20th century, means in 15th and 16th and 17th centuries, we have very less number of elements. But up to this 21st century, here we have to know more than 120 up to 118, nearly 120 elements we have no in periodic table children. So these all the elements, these 120 elements, it is very difficult to remember. Okay, not only to remember, and what about its atomic number, what about its atomic weight, this is all very impossible thing to remember for anybody. So to to remember them easily and to identify them easily, here it is necessary to classify the elements. Okay, so not only very simple thing children, if you are going to medical shop, there are so many medicines are there in each and every shelf, but how can we know which medicine should be useful for which problem, which disease? So there is some classification. Okay, if you go for the library also, if you went to library, okay, if you go to supermarket, so each and every shelf they have some different things. They arrange the different books according to different parts. Okay, some history books are there, some mathematical books are there, some science fiction books are there. Okay, so like that, according to different categories they classified the books. Not only this, and they classified the things also. So like that, according to the different basics, these elements, nearly 120 elements will be classified here. So here you see need for the arrangement of elements in an organized manner. What is that organized manner? How these elements will be classified in an organized manner, here we have to know. So Robert Boyle in 1661 defined an element as any substance. Element is the substance, it is the smallest substance that cannot be decomposed into a further simple substance by a physical or chemical change. So this is a very important children. Robert Boyle in the year 1661, he defined that element is the smallest substance that cannot be decomposed into any other elements, any other substances by using any chemical or physical changes also. So at his time about 13 elements were known. So in 17th century, up to 17th century, there we have only 13 elements. Okay, after that, towards the end of the 18th century, by the time of Lavoisier, another 11 elements were discovered. By 1865, about the 63 elements were known, and by 1940, a total of 91 elements were discovered, and in them some are gathered from natural sources and some will be artificially, means some synthetically were obtained. Okay, so finally up to 20th century there have 91 elements. Okay, here we have the 91 elements. By now, including the synthetic elements, there are more than 115 elements are there. So totally now up to this 20th century, we have 115 elements. As the number of elements increased, this is become difficult to remember all the atomic weights and atomic numbers for the scientists, not only for a common man, for human, for all the scientists also. It is very difficult to remember all these 115 elements. So that's why, so it is necessary to classify all these elements. So in previous class we learned that elements were classified into metals and non-metals. We already know all the elements on the earth will be classified mainly on metals and non-metals, but this classification is not satisfied classification, because there are so many limitations for this one. So there was a need to classify them in other ways also. So hence chemists started to frame the all the scientists, they started to find the new ways to find the elements, to group them or to classify them on the basis of their physical and chemical properties also. So in the beginning of the 18th century, Joseph Louis Proust stated that hydrogen atom is the basic material for all the elements. Okay, so in the beginning of 18th century, Joseph Louis Proust stated that hydrogen atom is the building material, and the atoms of all other atoms are simply due to the combination of number of hydrogen atoms only. Okay, so he was the very famous scientist. He was given one statement, children. So hydrogen element is the building material for all the remaining elements, and except the hydrogen, remaining all elements are the simple combination of the hydrogen atoms. But for this theory, there is no any theoretical expressions, and there is no any theoretical experiments also. So that is the first classification was given by Louis in the 18th century. After that, the second classification was given by the D'Abernet. So what is the D'Abernet laws of triads? We will see now. See here. So D'Abernet's laws of triads. So D'Abernet, he is a German chemist. Johann Wolfgang D'Abernet noted that there were group of elements with three elements known as the triads. Triads means tri means 3, number 3. So 3 elements will be there in each one triad, and those 3 have the similar chemical properties. Those 3 elements have the similar chemical properties. Okay, so he tried to give a relationship between the properties of elements and their atomic weights also. So according to those 3 elements of atomic weights, he wants to give one relation between those 3 elements. Okay, so those 3 elements will be called, a group of these 3 elements will be called as a D'Abernet triad. Okay, so D'Abernet stated that when elements with similar properties are taken 3 at a time and arranged in the ascending order of their atomic weights, the atomic weight of the middle element is the average of the atomic weight of the first and third elements. This statement is called as the D'Abernet's laws of triads. So here you see that what is the D'Abernet law. So D'Abernet stated that when elements with similar properties, so which 3 elements have the same chemical properties, those 3 will be taken at a time and they will be arranged in their ascending order of the atomic weights. Ascending order means low to high. So when he was taken the 3 elements, and those 3 elements will be having the same chemical properties. Okay, the 3 elements which have the same chemical properties will be arranged in atomic weights of their, so ascending order of their atomic weights, and the atomic weight of the middle element should be the average weight of the first one and the third one. Average, how to find the average? Average means, so we have to find the average of the first one and last one. Then the answer will be the atomic weight of the middle element, that is the group of triads. So this law should be called as the D'Abernet's law. So here they are given, children, they are given one table. If you observe this table, we can able to understand very clearly about this D'Abernet triads. Here you see. So in group A, he was taken 3 elements. So first one, lithium, sodium, potassium. Okay, lithium. What is the atomic weight of lithium? 7.0. and sodium is 23.0 and potassium he was taken 39.0. So and he was finding the arithmetic mean of the atomic weight. Arithmetic mean means the sum of the first one and second one, that should be the total will be divided by the 2, then we can find the answer as 23.0. So that 23.0 is the atomic weight of sodium. Okay, so this Davenant's law will be satisfied for the first group of elements. So this is the best example for the Davenant's rats, lithium, sodium and potassium. Okay, and you can do the same thing for the remaining also. Second group he was taken calcium, strontium and barium, and for the third one chlorine, bromine, iodine, and fourth one sulfur, selenium, tellurium, and next one manganese, chromium and iron. You do this one, children, in your textbooks. You can complete this table and finally you have to get the answer. So if you observe this one, in the first row you will find that the atomic weight of sodium is equals to the average weight of the lithium and potassium, but can you get the same for remaining also? No, it's impossible thing. So find average atomic weights of the first and third elements in each row and compare it with the atomic weights of the middle element. So if you do this one, you can able to understand very clearly, children. So Davenant's attempts gave a clue that atomic weights could be correlated with the properties of the elements. It made chemists look at elements in terms of groups of elements with similar chemical and physical properties. This eventually led to the rigorous classification of elements and the modern periodic table of elements also. So finally, if you complete this table, we can able to understand very clearly, children. Okay, so the average atomic weight of the first one and last one should not equals to the middle one for all the triads. So for the first one it was satisfied, but the remaining 4 also, if you do the remaining 4, so we can understand this law should not satisfy the remaining groups also, but this classification will lead to the another classification of the elements according to their chemical and physical properties. And here we have some limitations also. Limitations means what are the problems we can identify in these Davenant's triads and why we are going for the another classification of the elements also. So limitations you can see, children, here. So all the known elements at the time could not be arranged in the form of triads. Okay, and second one, the law failed for very low mass or for very high mass elements also. Okay, this law is not satisfied for the elements which have the very lesser atomic weight and which have the elements having the very higher atomic weights also. And next one, as the techniques improved for measuring atomic masses accurately, the law was unable to remain strictly valid. Okay, so the final answer, whatever the average, arithmetic average of the first one and third one we are getting, that should not be always equals to the atomic weight of the middle element. So this law will be completely failed. So that's why we are going for the another classification of elements also, children. So after this, here we have the Newland's law of octaves. Okay, so these Newland's law of octaves will go for the next class. After that we will go for the Manley's table also, and after that we will go for the modern periodic table. So this is the class for today, children. So each and everyone should follow the class properly, and you should follow the instructions also. And from today onwards you should start writing again you should start writing your CW, children. So your CW up to 5 lessons we completed our CW. 5th lesson completed or not completed? Okay, so who didn't complete the 5th lesson, you should complete the questions, children. And for the 6th lesson I give the questions and what are the keywords you have to write. Those I will send the message to you. And whoever completed the 5th lesson CW, then you can start writing the 6th lesson CW, children. So keywords and what are the keywords and what are the questions you have to copy and what are the textual exercises you have to write in your CW. Those all I will send you the message later. But each and everyone should complete your CW, children. Complete the CW. Thank you.